hello from IBC 2023. I'm here together with Michael Minchin from ST Engineering. He's the product manager for Internet of Things. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Thank you. Michael, what is the satellite IoT opportunity compared to the classical terrestrial, and how does it differ by regions?
Yeah, so satellite IoT or satellite connectivity is really the only solution to provide ubiquitous coverage over a large landmass. So, Africa is a continent with a variety of different regions. Some of those regions are served very well by cellular connectivity and terrestrial connectivity, and some of them are not. So in order to provide ubiquitous coverage over the whole of Africa, then satellite really is the only solution for that. So I think there's up to even in the rural populated areas, 30% of people can't get a mobile phone signal, and that's just the populated rural areas. Clearly, industrial IoT has got use cases and applications outside of those populated areas where there is even less.
All right, thank you. So what would you say are the main challenges of providing the ubiquitous IoT connectivity, especially when we talk about these remote areas?
Yeah, I think it's really to do with business case. So infrastructure companies will only really install terrestrial infrastructure and cellular towers where there is a population base to pay for it. And so really the challenges around scaling it mean that the economics just don't add up. So by using satellite solutions, you're able to use a wide beam across a large area, and that wide beam can service multiple countries.
Okay, so can you explain some of the typical use cases for IoT and how this probably can positively impact some of the industries?
Yeah, of course. So I think transport and cargo is a very interesting one. Africa is a huge continent, and there's obviously cargo going across regions and across countries. That said, it's still a third world developing country with a lot of infrastructure problems around road and safety. So our IoT solutions are able to operate in a hybrid mode, providing satellite backup for where LTE services are not available. And that can provide or deliver safety for both the crew that are delivering the cargo, as well as asset tracking to make sure that we know what was delivered and where it was delivered and the route it took. So that's within transport and cargo. I think agriculture is certainly the biggest vertical in IoT and satellite IoT. We're expecting growth rates of around in excess of 20% compound annual growth rate in agri-tech, and that's largely driven by the increase in technology. So as you get more and more sensors doing things like soil nutrient analysis and other things in automated vehicles, IoT has a much larger part to play. So for the wine regions in Africa, for example, you could do some smart fertilization, analyzing the soil nutrients and only fertilizing the right chemicals in the right areas. So that's really important. I think with Africa's amazing animal population, I think wildlife protection and extinction prevention is really key. So being able to tag the animals and have them pass by stations that can report back call on their health and the population quantity is really important. I think additionally kind of disaster prevention. So climate change is obviously increasing, and sadly we're seeing more and more floods like in the news today. We've deployed this solution in Latin America, which is a similar landmass, largely unconnected, specifically to monitor river levels and sea levels, so to get proactive warning of when there's a disaster on the horizon, so we can take proactive action. So that's another area where I think would be really valuable within Africa as well. And of course the energy sector and the mining sector, which is huge in Africa, are existing verticals where there has been SCADA type applications, but this IoT system is a much more robust system over and above SCADA that provides the back channel, so not only can the sensors communicate with the land side, but the land side can send instructions or messages back to proactively take action when there's an issue.
So it's actually a broad scope, which you can, let's say, cover with that. So, I mean, can you explain some of the typical use cases for IoT, especially when we talk about from a service perspective? So what services are you offer for these use cases?
Yeah, so we offer an open platform really, so you can run any service across it that you want. But typical things like fleet management, small scale fisheries, catch reporting, but really it's an open platform. So you can run standard IP protocols across it, and it's locked down to the specific protocol that you want to use. So unlike other products in the market which operate as satellite routers, and they can generate quite a lot of traffic, because if you connect your host PC to it, or the PC is updating and you don't want it to, that generates a lot of data transfer. This product will just transmit the specific application that the IoT use case needs.
So you mentioned before a quite broad approach in several industries, several verticals. So for existing ST Engineering customers, can you integrate these solutions into it, in their current offering?
Absolutely. So this is a new product in our portfolio, and it leverages the existing Evolution and Velocity 5IF chassis that we have and the existing line cards. So within if a customer has an existing chassis, they can get a couple more line cards for that chassis. We load the IoT waveform on the line cards, and it continues to operate alongside the VSAT services.
So you easily can upgrade actually your system. That's a big benefit. So are you exhibiting any of this technology here at IBC? I mean, we saw this one here, this device.
That's right, yeah. So we've got two terminals on the stand. We have the dynamic terminal, which is this one, which has a phased array antenna in it. And that's for dynamic mobile on-the-move applications. So this can go on the roof of a car. It has an industrialized connector, so it can go on a vessel, fishing vessel, and it's able to track the satellite as the vehicle moves, and to be able to switch between satellites if you move between coverage areas. So a really versatile terminal for on-the-move applications. We also have the fixed terminal, which is a similar size, but with a patch antenna, which is designed to be pointed and locked off once and left in situ.
All right. Thank you very much. It was very insightful. Thank you, Michael. That was Tech Africa News from IBC 2023. Find out more on our website, techafricanews.com.